They entered the room like phantoms from a life I'd buried 15 years ago. My parents, smiling as if they'd just hit the jackpot. "We're your guardians," my father announced, resting a hand on my mother's shoulder. His voice carried that same hollow warmth I remember from the night they left me at the orphanage gates. I didn't say a word. I just watched them, calm, courteous, impossible to read. They thought this was their grand return. They didn't realize it was their reckoning. When Aunt Eleanor passed, the world went still. She was the only one who never walked away. While my parents chased fortune, she gave me structure, purpose, and discipline. She taught me control. "Revenge doesn't make noise," she used to say. "It's written in silence on paper." Back then, I thought she was being philosophical. Turns out, she meant law. The day her attorney called to tell me she left me the mansion and $2 million, guilt hit before joy. Guilt for inheriting from the only person who had truly loved me. Joy that she trusted me enough to carry her legacy. But the joy faded fast, because within a week they found me. My parents, the same two who'd abandoned me at 13 when their debts piled too high, and I became too expensive to keep. The first call came from an unknown number. "Sweetheart, it's your mother." Sweetheart. Just hearing the word fractured something inside me. She said she'd seen the obituary, that she and Dad wanted to be there to help with the estate. Help? I almost laughed. They arrived before the funeral flowers had wilted. He wore a brand new watch. She carried oversized designer sunglasses. They had aged, but their greed hadn't. They roamed the marble hall, like vultures circling a carcass. "It's too much of you alone," my father said, brushing past me. "We'll take care of things until you've adjusted." His tone was casual, rehearsed, like I was still the naive child he could talk down to. I smiled. Let him think that. That night, while they slept in the guest wing, I unlocked my aunt's study. Inside a mahogany drawer, a sealed envelope waited, addressed in her calm, deliberate handwriting. "If they ever return, don't confront them. Watch. They'll dig their own graves. You just hand them the shovel." And that's exactly what I did. The next morning, I called Eleanor's attorney, a man she'd trusted for decades. Sharp, discreet, and lethal in a suit. We combed through the will line by line. Everything, the house, the funds, the investments, was solely in my name. But I wanted more than assets. I wanted closure. So we made a plan. Step 1, access. I let them believe I was overwhelmed. I gave them limited access to a shared estate account, a decoy filled with traceable funds. Within days, they were draining it. Luxury trips, jewelry, business expenses. Every move documented. Every signature recorded. Step 2, evidence. I invited them to meetings with the lawyer, recording every word about regaining guardianship. They didn't realize they were confessing to manipulation, fraud, and perjury, while smiling across the table. Step 3, timing. The will reading. I made sure they thought it was their moment to reclaim everything Eleanor left. In truth, it was the moment they lost it all. They sat beside me, performing affection. My mother squeezed my hand. "It's been so long, darling. We can finally be a family again." I let her believe it. The lawyer entered, composed, unreadable, and began to read aloud. When he reached the clause Eleanor had added before she died, their faces turned to ash. In the event that my niece's biological parents attempt to interfere with her inheritance or guardianship, their prior abandonment, substantiated by legal documentation and personal testimony, shall void any future claim to the estate. Any such interference will result in prosecution for fraud. Silence. Then the lawyer slid a folder across the table. Inside, bank statements, forged signatures, recordings. My father's hand shook. "You set us up." I met his eyes. "No, you walked right in." The lawyer cleared his throat. "You'll be hearing from the authorities soon." They stood there, pale, broken. My mother whispered, "We're your parents." I whispered back, "Not anymore." They left without a word. The same silence as the night they drove away 15 years ago. Only this time, it belonged to me. Controlled. Complete. That evening, I stood on the balcony, watching the city lights stretch across the horizon. The world moved on, unaware that a quiet war had just ended. People say revenge never brings peace. Maybe they're right. But justice, silent, calculated justice, feels like peace dressed in sharper clothes. And Eleanor once told me, forgiveness is for the weak. I understand now. She wasn't cruel. She was precise. I turned back inside, the house echoing with ownership, not just of wealth, but of my past. I didn't need their love anymore, and I didn't need their apology.